Welcome to another Maz Play video. This is MazMojito, and today we're going to be getting into another survival based game, and this is going to be the pilot episode. We're playing Star's End. Let's get to it. Alright guys, so we're jumping right back into Star's End. Now, I have played Star's End briefly when it first came out. It looked very promising, very interesting. So I've thought, what the heck, let me go ahead and start a new character and give this new online multiplayer survival style game a try. That is basically you start off in space on a spaceship. And then you are launched from the spaceship down to this planet that a bunch of people are trying to colonize. Now, the very first time that I played this, I was playing with a lot of other brand new players. There was literally no space to build a base, and I was playing on the online server, so of course everyone's competing for a spot to put down their base signal, which is what, interesting enough, that is the thing that we're looking at right now. So when you land, you basically have nothing on you but the clothes on your back, and you have to handcraft all your tools. You have to go around picking up stone and chop wood and all the typical survival things that you would expect in the game. Here is my bag and all the random loot and gear that you pick up. You can find horses in the game, as you see my horse in the background. However, they don't last permanently with you. There's like a time limit on how long you can have them. This is a view from space as far as what planet I am actually on. I have yet to explore enough where I built a spaceship where I can jump from planet to planet. I don't even know if that's even possible. The actual updates to this game has actually slowed down, but it's still, if you're interested in this kind of game, it's at a low price. So you still may want to give it a shot. Just don't expect too much in terms of updates, because the last update was sometime last year. So you can, interestingly enough, you can play this in first person view. You can also play it in third person view. As you can see, I switched there. The character customization is very limited. When I first started this character, and even after a couple updates, you really didn't have a variety of skins and faces and hairstyles to choose from. I believe you can pick a male or female character, but it was just very, very limited. So but the crafting blueprint menus that you can unlock as you play, they have a variety of things that you can build. In fact, this glowing stone that you see here is very similar to, in some other games, kind of a land marker. It creates a ring around this space, and that way no one can build in your land area. You kind of control this area as far as building your buildings and all that. People can still come and get resources out of this area, but they just can't build a building or a base here. So right now, what we're trying to do, it's really an open box kind of sandbox style game. They give you very minimum on the missions, and you can go and accomplish those missions, but for the most part, it's pretty much play how you feel. It has a ton of information. You can turn on and off different overlays to see what different types of resources are, whether it's farming certain metals or looking for where the water is or certain animals. That's all here. And if you turn all those key icons on, it can get a bit cluttered and messy. So I would suggest one at a time, just to avoid any kind of confusion. So just moving my mouse around here, you can kind of see all the different things that you can craft. And this is just the building section of the blueprints. There are quite a few blueprints you can actually drop down and choose from and see all the different categories of things you can unlock and build. Land claim requires a land claim. A lot of them will say requires a land claim, which is basically that purple light that I just showed you. That is a land claim. That is what produces a circle around your area and lets you build new buildings and stuff like that. The one thing that's going to really annoy people is the water thirst level goes down really quick. So if you don't find a good drinking location, which you'll see them marked around the map, they usually have like a water teardrop looking symbol, which you'll see as I bring up the menu as I'm working around. Right now what I need is wood, so I'm gonna try to find my axe here, cut down some trees, because I'm trying to at least build an initial base. I don't even have like platforms or foundations down or anything. The mechanics are a little clunky, as you can see, but willing to overlook that, because again, this is an indie game and they haven't had too many updates, and it was a really big ambitious project. But I still like the survival aspects. It's just a lot to take in on this. So taking down a tree takes a very long time, as you can see, and it's not like I'm chopping really quick. I don't know if you can level up that skill or not. But a little about the interface, as you can see in the bottom right corner, has all your typical interfaces. You do have weather, that's an issue, that's why temperature is on there. But you also have the food levels, which is basically the icon with the fork, knife, and plate. You do have tiredness or sleepiness icon, which is the moon symbol. You can get infected in this game, which is the very top right. It's like infection or radiation, I'm not quite sure. And then of course you have your thirst level, which is right above the temperature gauge. And then at the bottom, 100%, if you do happen to go swimming or do some things that requires a lot of O2, you have your oxygen meter there. So the key thing about chopping wood, it's like a two-step process. First you knock down the tree with your axe, but then you actually have to saw the logs with literally a saw in order to get like planks out of this. So it takes a while, it's not fast, but if you have patience, you pretty much can get wood everywhere in this game. But this is just a key step you have to do in order to get what you need in order to build a base. So we'll just go through this process. All right, so looking through my resources in my inventory, I have about 56 planks right now. I'm trying to build that up a little more, but it's taking a lot longer than I'd like. So I may have to stop right around 56 to 60 planks and see what we can produce from that. Okay, finally, it disappeared. Wood log ×2 is what I got as a result. Maybe there's a way to adjust the settings, not sure, as far as speeding up the time it takes to process that wood. Look at all the different menus here. We got vehicles that you can craft, you got provisions, survival, wearables, components, tools, It's just so many different things that you can create here. They all have certain resources or rules that have to be followed. You just basically click on it and it shows you in the middle what those resources are that are needed. Some of these things require a lot of parts, and the wood planks is just you see how long it took for me to process one log, so that concerns me. And I wouldn't want to spend too much time out here chopping down trees and turning those into logs, which and then turning those into planks. So, but it is a process until there's a way to make that more efficient and speed it up. That's what we have to work with. So we got a workbench, but I am low on scrap metal. That's all I have. So scrap metal is something that you'll find commonly throughout, and then you will have these wild animals kind of roaming around. The boar, I think, are if you get too close or if you hit them, they will attack you. Otherwise, they just kind of wander around. There are bears in this game. There are also, as you can see, I'm riding a horse, but there are also some like alien insect-looking creatures in this game, which are very aggressive and will come and attack you if they see you. So you just kind of keep your head on the swivel. And as you can see, I jump from first and third person view quite a bit, but I prefer third person, just because I know a lot of people watching these kind of games get a little bit on the motion sickness side, especially if they can't handle first person for a long time. But yeah, this game has a bunch of glitches. Unfortunately, lag spikes are pretty common, and this is me playing offline. I'm not even playing on the server, so on the server it can be even more challenging to play depending on how many people are on at a time. I suppose it's not as bad right now. It's probably the population is probably not too crazy like it was on the first day, but if that's what you want and you want to play with other people, I would suggest you try doing either online co-op or go that multiplayer route. Now, the buildings that you see up ahead, not sure what's in that building, but sometimes if you climb up that ladder, you'll see some loot as far as the white silos. But that building over there is known to have scrap. I don't see anything up there on the top, so we're going to keep it moving. We are looking for scrap right now so we can finish out this workbench. So anything that looks like a wrecked piece of machinery or spaceship is going to have scrap, like what we're riding towards. And usually the scrap is just laying on the ground. You can pick it up, and sometimes you can actually pull out your pickaxe and start hammering away at the wrecked piece of material and get some scrap out of it until it disappears, or it'll give you a message saying there's nothing more that can be harvested from this. So here's an example of a scrap pile. Go ahead and pick that up. Unfortunately, you only get like one or at the most two at a time, so it takes a minute to pick all this stuff up. And I'm not quite sure why that one was not picking up. Maybe there was a delay. But as you can see, as I hit this thing, I will get messages that I got scrap metal. So I could go around, just keep hitting this thing until it says no more scrap metal to be obtained from this wreckage. The blue marker indicates that's my current vehicle, which in this case is my horse. But this way you always kind of know where your ride is, I guess, when you're traveling around the map. A couple more pieces of scrap here that we're going to pick up. We need a certain amount so we can do our workbench. So that's pretty much our objective right now. The problem with these scrap piles is once you loot them, they don't disappear. So you kind of got to keep checking every now and then, especially if you forgot if you looted or not, to see if there's still anything left to get. They do respawn over time, so it's just a matter of coming back and checking these piles again. So we're going to continue on our hunt for scrap metal, and hopefully we can get what we need so that we can build our workbench. Okay, so one more note I will say is as we pass a fox, you will see these. I don't know. They're like this space shuttle type pods, almost like these old Apollo style launch ships. They'll be spread out around the map. You can refuel those and take off and do some missions up in space, but after you refuel them, you only can use them for a certain amount of time. You also here's the message about what you'll get about water. Your water and your tiredness go down really quick, as you can see in the bottom right with the red letters. So you always want to carry a bottle of water on you. Even if you find water sources here, you still have to cook it and turn it into clean water. So that's just something you have to constantly do. But yeah, you will see spaceships when you play on a multiplayer server. You will see them everywhere, because every time you start a game, your character lands in a ship similar to that. And if you have a whole bunch of people playing, you will see those scattered all over the planet. So we will continue looking for scrap metal, which is our original plan, and we want to get this workbench built. So like I said earlier, it's hard to tell if you hit a scrap pile or not, because there's really no way to mark whether you checked it or not, other than come all the way over here and actually check the piles, which the piles surprisingly look just like the metal scrap piles that you'll find in the game Myth Survival, which just take a look at Myth Survival and look at the metal scrap piles and tell me what you think. Do those piles look the same? Maybe it's an Unreal Engine graphic that they borrowed as far as the material. So let's continue on with our hunt so that we can craft this workbench. Okay, so one thing I wanted to warn you guys about is the navigation system. Take a look at all these different icons. This is like the unfiltered view, but look at all the different things you can track in this game. It can get extremely overwhelming. Just so many icons. Now you can, to be fair, you can filter it down to just specific icons, like just resources or just animals or just food. But if you turn those all on, which are your N key, and you don't filter it down, it gets a little crazy, a little hectic, and there's just colors everywhere. So right now what I'm trying to do is get back to my home base. I think I got enough resources to go ahead and craft that workbench. I think I have enough scrap metal finally. So we're going to plop that workbench down, and then we're going to see if we can start building some additional materials. All right, so now that I got this workbench down, we're going to take a look and see what blueprints we can actually craft on it. Let me go ahead and clear this search text here. This is the wood foundation that I was going to build, so I can at least have a place to put a bed down and put like some initial things. And the good thing about this crafting bench is it gives you the option to pick it back up, so you can reposition it somewhere else if you don't want it just sitting on the ground next to the land claim, and actually make a pretty decent outpost or camp or base, if you will, using that workbench. So we're gonna first make sure we get the resources we need to craft this. So that's gonna be more hunting for trees and scrap material and whatever else it calls for, and now we can actually construct it since we have the workbench. Alright, so given that my character has 4% energy, we're going to go ahead and craft this sleeping bag and place it down somewhere over here. Now, I think I can pick up pretty much everything that I placed down, so we can always reposition this back into our actual little wooden foundation base that we create. But we're just going to at least have something so I can increase my energy level. And as you can see, it's already quickly growing. 20%. I'm out of the red. I just sped it up back to 100%. All right, so back on the hunt for some more resources so we can build some more stuff. And again, with all the navigation letters, we gotta try to sort through this and find what we actually need so that we can craft the wooden foundation base. So I'm gonna head in the direction of scrap, which it looks like the pickaxes may be the scrap. I'm not sure. Now in the upper right corner, it does give you some player guidance, and it gives you a suggested route you can take in order to advance through the story. But for now, I think we're gonna go ahead and put a bookmark in this video, and we'll come back and we'll play some more. This is a really big open world survival type game. Unfortunately, hasn't been updated in a while, but hopefully things change. So as usual, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch my videos. Please remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe because it really helps out the channel. And we will see you in the next video.